Hey guys, it's Miss Seaver. I miss you guys so much, and I love you very much, and I hope you're doing good and being good for Mommy and Daddy at home. I want to start out with our prayer that we do every day. So if you'll bow your heads and close your eyes, we'll say it together. Dear God, we thank you for this day, for loving us in every way. Help us to love and not to fuss, because we know you love us. Amen. And I hope you remember that one because we've gone over it a lot. So now we're going to start with our letters. Miss Jones, I believe, stopped with letter T, so we're going to review that song real quick. So here's our Timmy Tiger song. Timmy Tiger, T says t, 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 t. Table, teeth, and telephone, turtle, tree, and triangle, T says t, 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 t. And with our letter T, we have to remember that it's one big stick and a top hat. And then our little T looks like the cross that we talk about. Down and across. And you can make that with your fingers too to remember that this is little T, 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 t. Now, when we move on to our next letter, we have letter U. And U looks like a big swing or a big seat that you can sit in. It also looks like a smile that you would draw for a happy face. And our friend for the letter U is Uppity Umbrella Bird. And he's called an umbrella bird because of this crest of feathers on the top of his head that opens up when it's raining or when he's scared or mad, and it opens up like a little umbrella over his head. And for our letter U, we have the words umbrella, up, under, upside down, and uncle. And our uncles are our mommy's and daddy's brothers. That's our uncles. So for U, the letter U makes the sound. And I always say that this is our lazy letter because it says, it's tired. So we've got uppity umbrella bird. Uppity umbrella bird, uppity umbrella bird. U says, umbrella up under, upside down, and uncle. U says, And now we're gonna make a U. We take away our T, and we're gonna make a U. Now with our letter U, it looks like a smile. So we're gonna make a really big smiley face starting at the top, come down, curve around, and up. A really big smile, which is what it'll bring to my face when I get to see you all again. And now here's our little U. Little U is a little smile, and it has a little tiny stick on it. So little U has a stick, but big U does not. It's just a big open smile. Or you can think about it like a swing that you would swing on a swing set. Big swing and little swing. Now, let's talk about our letter V. Now V makes a fun sound. And it's kind of like it vibrates or it tickles your lips. So it goes v, v, v. You'll feel a tickle on your lip when you say the letter V. And this is Vicky Vulture. Actually, the little one is Vicky Vulture. That's her mama right there, protecting her and taking care of her, just like our mommies do. And over here for the letter V, we have violin, vegetables, Valentine, and violets. And these are flowers. And I know Boone's sister's name is Violet too, so we can pretend that that's Violet too. So let's do our V song. Vicky Vulture, Vicky Vulture, V says v, 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 v. Violin and vegetables, Valentine and violets, V says v, 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 v. Now with our letter V, it kind of starts the same way as our U. It starts at the top in the sky, and we're going to talk about Vicky Vulture. So when she goes to get food, she's flying high in the sky. She comes down to get her food and goes back up in the sky. Just like every other bird, she flies in the sky. And little V looks just like big V, except a little smaller. So just a tiny little reach down to the ground and a tiny little hop back up into the sky. So that's our V. It has a point at the bottom. U is kind of round, and V has a little point at the bottom, like an upside down mountain. So after V, we have W. And W says w, w, w. And this is our friend Wackford Walrus. And a walrus is really big. He's probably as tall as your daddy, but a lot bigger and heavier because he has so much blubber on his body because he lives where it's really, really cold. And you see, the thing I notice about him is his two little tusks. Looks like horns sticking out of his mouth, but they're two really long teeth that stick out of his mouth, one on each side. And for our W letter, we have the words wagon, window, water, watermelon, and waffles. So when we do Wackford Walrus, we say Wackford Walrus, Wackford Walrus. W says w, 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 w. Wagon, window, water, watermelon, waffles. W says w, 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 w. And our W, if you'll notice, looks a lot like our V. It has some points down here at the bottom, but it has more than one. So let's take this one away. And let's work on our W. Now let's think about his tusks. He has two tusks sticking down, so that's what our W is going to look like. Here's one big long tooth on that side. Oops, let's not make it too tall. And here's another big long tooth on that side. He has two big teeth sticking down. So down and up, and 2 points because he has two sharp teeth, two tusks sticking out right there. And little W looks a lot the same. It's just a lot smaller. So down and up for a little tooth, down and up for another little tooth. Two little sharp teeth sticking down there, like Wackford Walrus. All right. Now, we've talked about this letter before. We've made this letter before, I think, on some of our papers, and this is letter X. And there's not really an animal whose name starts with an X, because X makes the X sound. X. So we have Roxy Fox. She has an X at the end. A lot of times when you have an X, you'll find it at the end of a word. So over here we have X-ray, box, mixer, axe, the number 6, and exit. And you can see the X in the word exit right there. And that means to leave. That's a sign that tells you where you can leave or exit a building. So with Roxy Fox, she is a mama fox and she's a red fox and she takes care of her babies just like your mommies take care of you. So let's do our X sound, and it says x, x, x. Roxy Fox, Roxy Fox. X says x, 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 x. X-ray, box, and mixer. Axe, 6, and exit. X says x, 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 x. And now when foxes are asleep in their den, that's their little hole where they hide and take care of each other, that's their home, they sometimes have to keep each other warm, especially in the wintertime. So when they lay down, sometimes they lay across each other. So here's our big X. We're going to come down sideways this way. And then another fox might lay over top to keep mommy and daddy warm. Same thing with brother and sister, little X. So we have our little fox right here, our little cub, and brother or sister might lay across them to keep them warm. So there's our X. It goes right in the middle. See, we were making our T up like this, but if we lay it down sideways, here's our X. X, X, X. Just a couple more to go and we'll be all done with our alphabet. Here is our Y. And this is a big animal. This is a yak. He kind of looks like Connie Cow. He's part of the cow family, but he has really long horns and a long, heavy fur. And that long, warm hair helps keep him warm because he lives where it's really, really cold. And this is Yakety Yak. And yakety yak is a big animal, very strong, helps people by pulling heavy things. And the letter Y is what yakety starts with, and Y says y, 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 as in yarn, yawn, yellow, yo-yo, yam, which is a vegetable like a sweet potato, and yogurt, which I know everybody likes to eat. So let's do our Y song. Remember, Y says y, y, y. Yakety yak, yakety yak. Y says y, 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 y. Yarn, yawn, and yellow. Yo-yo, yam, and yogurt. Y says y, 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 y. And now with Y, it's a little tricky to make a Y. So I'll try to make it as easy as I can. I'm going to start writing up here at the top where we can actually see it. Alright, so just like with V, we're going to come down to a point and go back up in the air. But just like with but instead of with our V, we're going to put a lollipop stick on it. There's our capital Y. We make a V, and then we put a little stick on it, and it's now a Y. With little y, we have yaks live on the mountainside, and they a lot of times walk on the very edge of the mountain. So here's the very edge of our mountain, and little yakety yak has to be very careful to meet the ledge, or she might slide all the way down. And there's our Y, and I know Sawyer has a Y in his name, and I'm pretty sure he knows how to make this letter. But just in case, we've got our V shape with our lollipop stick, and little y, we're walking on the edge, but when we meet the edge, we've got to be very careful so we don't slide all the way off. So big Y, little y, y. And now our last letter, Z. And Z is a fun sound. It kind of sounds like a bumblebee in your ear. It goes zzz. So I want you to think about what it sounds like when there's a fly or a bumblebee. Zzz. And this is our friend Zed Zebra, and he's smiling at you. He is a funny animal. He looks a lot like a horse, but we can tell it's not a horse because it has straps. And Zed Zebra can tell his family from the other zebras that he hangs out with because all their stripes are just a little bit different. So he can tell which one's his family. And for Z, we have zero, zigzag, zipper, and zoo. Here's a picture of him at the zoo. So we have Zed Zebra, Zed Zebra, Z says zzz, 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 zzz. Zero, zigzag, zipper, and the zoo. Z says zzz, 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 zzz. And don't forget some of your other animal friends. If you can remember the songs, that's great. But we're going to do another video here in just a minute that goes over all of our letters. It doesn't go through the songs, but it'll go through the sound and the name of each letter, just like we always did in class. I hope y'all are doing great. We love you. We miss you. And I'm going to finish out with doing our letter Z. So let's see. We think about Zed Zebra. Board's a mess. We think about it because he's very tall. So here's his head going across the sky. He has straps down his back and his legs. And his toes touch the ground down here at the bottom. So there's his zigzag Z. And little Z looks exactly the same, just a little shorter. So here's his baby zebra and his little straps and his toes touching the ground. So Z says Z, Z, Z. Hope y'all are doing good, and we can't wait to see you again. Love you all.